Hey ENFPs, the name is Eric Thorne. In today's video, we're asking ourselves, what is ADHD in ENFPs? Why do so many ENFPs identify as having ADHD? And how does it manifest and look like? And how can we understand ADHD in the ENFP personnel type, right? So what I found is many ENFPs do struggle with ADHD and identify as having ADHD. Many have sought the diagnosis. Not all of them have a diagnosis, but many suspect that they might have it to some extent, right? So a lot of ENFPs are seeing that they have major issues when it comes to these things, some major, some significant, some minor. But many ENFPs have this problematic in their life, and it's something that causes issues when it comes to, fitting in mainstream society today, managing to hand in your bills on time, managing to pay your rent, managing to fill in your taxes, managing to sit still in school for 8 hours a day, A lot of ENFPs have struggles when it comes to regulating their attention, when it comes to decision-making process, when it comes to organization and structure, right? And here what we're getting is two kind of images of what the ENFP personnel type can be like. Because the truth is not all ENFPs identify as having ADHD, and many ENFPs live completely healthy and amazing lives, feeling very fulfilled by themselves and very confident in who they are. And there's even some ENFPs that have developed the skills of accounting, organization, structure, cleaning, and all the things that, some ENFPs can struggle with, right? So here what we have to think about the ENFPs is, what is happening here? Why do so many ENFPs identify as having ADHD? What's the relationship between the two, right? So how I see it is there's a difference between having an ENFP preference and having an ENFP or ADHD level kind of struggle. And here's what I think is going on. So what I think is happening is, to which extent have we developed the capacity for being by ourselves, taking things more slowly, and focusing on one thing at a time in a set linear structure, working through and using systems to our aid to solve problems, to make decisions quickly, and to stick to and follow rules. And to which extent are ENFPs capable of doing these things, right? And here's two groups. Some ENFPs find it completely normal and completely easy and completely natural to do these things. They don't enjoy them per se, but they still do them because they've learned how to, they've had the support system, they've had the help, and perhaps their level of preferences and their level of development is somehow different from other ENFPs, right? But there's certainly other ENFPs that don't feel they can do these things, that struggle in these areas, that feel it's difficult to do these things. And to some extent, they'll certainly have the preferences and beliefs and values of the general ENFP personality type structure, right? There's a difference here in the sense of one can, but doesn't want to, and one can't and doesn't want to, right? And that's why we seek diagnosis. That is why people consult with psychiatrists or psychologists. That's why people use medicine and treatments and other options in order to manage this. Because for a lot of people, this is a major problem that has causes severe issues in not just structure, but also in relationships and in other aspects of their life, like being able to return your phone calls, or being able to pick up the phone, or being able to send messages to people, or being able to, have steady and healthy attachments to other people, right? Because the truth is, when you're neurodivergent, and it doesn't matter here in this case if it's ADHD or autism or some other form of complication, there can be a difficulty in socialization, especially as children. And many neurodivergents grow up feeling like there's something wrong with them, right? I am not capable of doing the things other people can do, and because of that, I'm different, and because of that, I find it hard to socialize and connect with other people. Because of that, other people get upset with me and might get annoyed with me, and because of that, I feel unsafe around other people, and because of that, I can engage in a variety of different strategies. For example, I might engage in excessive people-pleasing, or I might engage in fawning over others, or I might engage in being cold or afraid of reaction, or a lot of these things, right? So when you feel like you have these difficulties as an ENFP, definitely don't just settle for reading descriptions and going like, yeah, this is who I am. But certainly if you feel like this is causing problems in your life, if you feel like you need help from somebody else, if you feel like you need a mentor to talk to, if you feel like you need support structures, and if you feel like you need to help your friends understand who you are and how you work so that you can have a healthy and happy relationship together, right? definitely consider seeking aid. And the truth is, we should all seek aid when we need to, and everyone might need at some point in their life some level of support. So it's nothing you should feel ashamed of doing or talking about or engaging in or discussing. And here's also something that's very important, and that is that this is not a problem for you. It's a problem related to you and the world around you, right? So in a sense, it's very important to recognize that there's nothing wrong with you for having these problems and issues. This is a negotiation between you and the world, right? And the world around you, this society that we built together, the structures that we created together are not natural structures. They need not necessarily exist in prehistoric times, and they're not something that all humans have been able to really adapt to a high extent. And when we talk about diagnoses in a modern spectrum, we talk about people that are unable to socialize and to adapt to modern society and all that entails, right? So not everyone is capable in these areas, but that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with these people. It just means that there is an issue or a complication in how we build structures that are unhealthy or unsustainable or difficult for certain personalities or for certain individuals, right? So here's where you have to recognize that, yeah, I'm good, I'm fine. I'm a perfect person. I have good skills. I have talents. I have amazing things that I contribute. I'm often very enthusiastic. I'm very playful. I'm very creative, perhaps. Or I'm very warm and I'm very affectionate. Or maybe I'm very authentic and I have a strong artistic skills. Or I'm a good writer, or all those things, right? Because you can have so many different gifts and capabilities that you have as a person for who you are, right? And then you can have difficulties navigating mainstream society. And that's not your fault. It's a social problem that we are going to have to solve together as a society. So we are going to have a conversation together. You and your friends are going to have to talk with each other about, how do you manage these things, and how do you manage communication, being online, media, and attention, and how do you connect with each other. And the same with school, and the same with work, and the same with everything around you. Because if you're able to remember who you are and to stay true to yourself and to work around with yourself, you can also communicate with your boss, with your employees, or if you run your own business, with your clients, right? And you're able to find strategies that work for you. And if you're able to just be honest about these things and to recognize your capabilities and limitations and boundaries, and you're able to communicate these easier, it's going to be easier for everyone around you, and it's going to be easier for you too, right? Now, the reason why I decided to make this video is not because I'm an expert in psychology, nor do I know everything about ADHD or what it's like to have ADHD. I simply made this video because I know a lot of ENFPs have these struggles, and I wanted to create a video to create a discussion for people to understand how to relate to these traits. And so the most important thing is, how do you look at these things? And how do you relate to ADHD as an ENFP? And how can you make this work for you? And how can you work around this for yourself, right? Are you an ENFP? Do you identify as having ADHD? And what's your relationship to this? Thank you so much for watching, and see you all in the next video.